Are we ready? Well, good afternoon. Before today's announcement, which is something that should put a smile on your face, I wanted to talk about something a little more serious. Let me update you on the serious stabbing earlier today of police officer Eder Loor, L-O-O-R, by an assailant in East Harlem. At about 10:30 this morning, a call was made to 911 about an emotionally disturbed person at 1345 3rd Avenue. Two officers, including Officer Loor, responded to the call, arriving on foot. They found the man in question in the building lobby at that address and leaving for the street. They approached him and told him they would take him to a hospital. He then produced a knife and attacked Officer Loor. The knife apparently penetrated the officer's skull at the left temple. Officer Loor, who is a 28-year-old and has been a veteran since 2006 of the police department, was taken by ambulance to Mount Sinai Hospital. I just came from the hospital where I met with the doctors, attending to him with Commissioner Kelly, other police supervisors, and Officer Loor's wife. And then I also visited his patrol partner. The doctors, just before I left, the last update I got was that he is in critical condition, but they were very optimistic. I think they would say cautiously optimistic, but the smiles were on their faces. Having said that, he's certainly not out of the woods yet, and we really won't know for a few hours. But I would ask all New Yorkers to have his recovery in our prayers. I can also tell you that the suspect in the stabbing has been arrested by the police. The knife was recovered at the scene. Officer Loor is assigned to the 23rd Police Precinct, where police have reduced crime by 28% since 2001. And I talked to his partner, who's just being in the trauma center, just being treated for high blood pressure to get him to calm down, and he's going to be fine. And I congratulated him on doing exactly this was a textbook example of what they should do. Unfortunately, even when you do the right thing, policing, as we all know, is a very dangerous job. And let us hope that this turns out to be happy. The Officer Loor, has a 4 or 5-year-old, I forget which, daughter, and his wife is pregnant with a son. And she's going to have the baby at the same hospital that Officer Loor was at. So I told her they'd probably give her a special room or something, but hopefully he'll be okay. This serious attack and the fire department Lieutenant Richard Nappy's tragic death yesterday at a fire in Brooklyn, I just think should remind us how New York's bravest and New York's finest risk their lives every day to protect the rest of us. Now let me turn to the subject of today's press conference. Our ongoing efforts to improve school choice and school performance for all students. I don't think there's any question that public schools are continuing to improve. Since 2005, our graduation rates have climbed 40% compared to an increase of just 8% among public schools in the rest of the state. Math and reading score tests are up. Remember, that's the only fair comparison we really have. Us versus other states, everybody uses different tests, but all students, including those in New York City, take the New York State test. So it really is a fair measure of how well we're doing here, and I think we have to keep making that case. There are some people around the state that say, oh, things aren't getting better. Well, they're not getting very much better in the rest of the state, but the good news is all of those teachers who work here and the principals and custodians and crossing guards and parent coordinators and principals and APs and all the staff of the Department of Ed really collectively, along with the parents and the kids, are making a big difference. And are we where we want to be? No, but we are going in the right direction. Our Black and Hispanic students, I'm happy to say, have led in this process. A big factor in that success, more than 530 new small schools were opened. Their record of raising achievement levels and graduation rates has made a difference in the lives of thousands of students. And that's why today I am pleased to announce that we're opening 54 more small schools across the city in time for the next school year. Just think about that. 54 schools is more schools than most cities have. As a matter of fact, it's more schools than most cities have by a factor of 4 or 5 or 10 in many cases. Most towns only have a few schools. We have lots of schools. We have 1.1 million kids that come from all over the world, and that bodes well for the future of this city. They are the people who will create jobs and improve our culture and our cuisine and our language and our religion. They are the future of New York, and we're just thrilled to have them in our schools, and we have a commitment to make sure that no matter where they come from, whatever languages they speak or don't speak, whatever their family situation is, we're not going to walk away from anybody. We will do the best we can, and I couldn't be more optimistic about where we're going given what we've done so far. When we finish the opening of these 54 schools, we will have passed an important milestone in our ongoing transformation of the New York City's public school system. When the 2012-2013 school year begins next September, the new schools that we've opened since 2002 will account for roughly 1/3 of the total of the more than 1,700 public schools in the city. So it's really amazing. You know, you don't change anything overnight. Everything that's worthwhile, it requires hard work to do, and there are always people that question, and that's fine. This democracy. But I think there's no question that if we have changed 1/3 of the schools since 2002, it is an achievement that nobody would have thought possible. New York City already has what the nonpartisan Brookings Institution has described as the most effective school choice program of any major school district in the nation. Students and parents deserve top-quality school choices, and we're going to continue to ensure that they have even more of them. And some parents say, well, I don't know what to do with all the choice, and it is a problem, and we've got to give them some guidance. But not having choice is an awful lot worse than having the choice, and the good news is that I keep meeting parents on the subway and with a young child, and I say, where are you going? And the distances some parents travel is, to me, astounding. I walk to school, to elementary school, to junior high school, and to high school. They take a subway and could take an hour plus to get to the school, and they say, but you know, it's the most wonderful thing in the world. My kid is in school X, and it's just so unbelievable that the city offers the opportunities for our students. One of our newest schools will be right here at the Washington Irving High School campus. It's one we announced in our State of the City in January. Deputy Mayor for Economic Development Bob Steele and his team have played an enthusiastic role in launching it. It is a high school called the Academy for Software Engineering, and like the new Applied Sciences campus that we're helping Cornell University and the Technion Israeli Institute of Technology develop on Roosevelt Island, it's going to train students for careers in the important and growing tech sector in our city. The Academy for Software Engineering is designed to capitalize on the education and employment opportunities offered by being a neighbor to many of New York's tech companies. It will be open to every New York City student, with those who demonstrate an early interest getting admission preferences, and it will be the first of what we hope will be others focused on this high-growth sector. Students graduating from this school will have a deep and broad grounding in and exposure to what they need to know for success in the tech sector, and partners in the tech sector will provide students with mentoring internships and feedback on the skills most sought by employers. And in a few minutes, we're going to hear from some of the people in the local community who have been instrumental in getting it off the ground. Fred Wilson, a managing partner of the venture capital firm Union Square Ventures, and Jennifer Falk, the executive director of the Union Square Alliance and a newlywed, just in case I didn't have a chance to embarrass her. Our newest wave of new schools will have more than 7,000 students when they open in September. They will add grade levels year after year, and will have more than 21,000 students when they grow to their full size in a few years. The schools will span all grade levels and will operate in all 5 boroughs. 21 of them will be secondary schools, either high schools or schools combining middle and high school grades. Another 22 will be either elementary schools or schools combining elementary and middle school grades. And 1 will enroll students from kindergarten through 12th grade. 30 of the new schools will be run by the City Department of Education. 24 will be charter schools. The city-run schools will also have the strong support of organizations like the New York City Outward Bound, the Young Women's Leadership Foundation, and the Urban Assembly. And such partnerships have played a big part in the success of many of the small schools our administration has established. And the success of these new schools, the small schools, is clear. The ones that have been created to take place of larger schools post better results on the state's annual math and reading exams than the schools they replace. The students also graduate at significantly higher rates, sometimes at double the rate of students in the schools they replace. And keep in mind that the student bodies of these new schools mirror those of the schools they replace, with similar percentages of Black and Latino students, English language learners, and students with disabilities. They also have higher proportions of Black and Hispanic students and students with disabilities than public schools do citywide. And as a study published earlier this year by the MRDC found, our strategy for creating small schools, quote, markedly improves graduation rates for a large population of low-income disadvantaged students of color, unquote. The schools also receive very high ratings on our parent satisfaction surveys, which in the end is really a lot of people have opinions about the schools, but it's the parents that see the results and that have to make the decisions day in and day out. And overwhelmingly, the parents of our schools, when they do the surveys, I think the survey is the biggest survey any government does any place.
Second to the census.
Second to the census. It's really 935,000 responses. We survey parents and teachers and students and everybody else, and the results are there. On that note, let me turn the floor over to our school's chancellor, Dennis Walcott. I will look and make sure that woman coughing is okay.
Okay? She's all right. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and good afternoon to you and good afternoon to all of you. It's really a pleasure to be here today. And just before I start, let me take this opportunity to thank all of our principals, our teachers, all the staff. Today is a momentous day, as some of the parents know and all the staff know, in that today is the first day of testing taking place throughout the city. And so to all of our students, we wish you good luck, and to our parents and to our teachers and principals, I want to say thank you to all of you for your hard work in preparing our students for starting to take their test today and for the rest of this week and also next week. Mr. Mayor, I want to thank you for your leadership. Your leadership is always inspiring to me. Over the last 10 years, what you have done in education is truly, truly outstanding, and I think we would be remiss if we did not say thank you to you for your outstanding leadership in really leading the vanguard of change in New York City. Let me just fill in a couple of facts that the mayor talked about. Since the mayor has been in office, we have created so many new schools. It is truly amazing. Since the mayor has come into office, we have created 535 new schools. And Mr. Mayor, if I had to test you today, since today is testing day, how many students do you think attend these new schools?
Well, I'd say 350,000.
No, we're going too high. Around 184.
But because they're just slowly filling in.
They're gradually ramping up.
Their capacity when they're
will be there up to there.
Sure,
so you're right.
If it's a 30 of schools, it should be a third of your
You're watching the mayor and chancellor show right now. So 184,000 students at this point, and
growing too.
And since growing to 384, because you're always right. So I'm going to make sure I say the right answer. I don't want to be the ex-chancellor.
Way to go.
And the second thing, but I'm not going to give you a multiple choice on this one. I will give you the answer. If we had these new schools as a school district on their own, they would be the 9th largest school district in the country, equal to the city of Philadelphia school district. That's how many new schools and how many new students are at these schools, and it's as a result of your leadership. And as the mayor indicated, all of our students have done better at these schools. But especially when you take a look at our Hispanic students and our Black students, they are leading the way. The 4-year graduation rate now for Hispanic students is 58%, and if you take a look at Black students, it is 61%, a significant increase from 2005. And again, it's as a result of the leadership of the mayor and all the hardworking staff at these particular schools. Today, I'm joined by the men and women who will lead these new schools that the mayor talked about. They're surrounding me here. They're surrounding us in the audience as well. And we want to thank you for your leadership and your commitment to our students. As the mayor indicated, these will be exciting new schools for our students. I and the mayor and all of us are big believers in choice. And as a result of these new schools and the 42 new schools that we created last year, we're well on our way of achieving our goal of having 1,800 schools by 2013. 1,800 schools in the New York City public school system. Small schools, large schools, charter schools, single-sex schools, theme schools, campus schools, all the schools in all the neighborhoods to provide quality choices and options for our students. One other thing that I want to share, one inside baseball secret, in that you talked about Fred Wilson here and the software engineering school. I guess around a month ago, I saw Fred really in action. And we were at Martin Luther King High School. It was the second high school fair. Crowded hallways, parents and students looking for schools to choose from, high schools to choose from. And there was Fred with his brainchild in the hallway, talking to parents, recruiting parents over the tables. I think at times I saw Fred actually knocking over a couple of other principals to bring the students and the parents to his table. That's the type of commitment that we have with the leaders who are standing here today, the charter leaders, the non-charter leaders, the CTE schools, all the great schools that are here. Mr. Mayor, once again, I want to say thank you, but more importantly, I want to say thank you to all the leaders who are here, because as a result of your leadership, as a result of your commitment, our students will benefit in the long run. One final note before I turn it back to the mayor. Just want to give you a heads up beforehand. You never know when I'm going to show up at your door. So I just want to let you know, sometimes I put schools on the public schedule and people will know, and sometimes I'm just in the neighborhood and I stop on by, so expect me to stop on by. And then also, before we came in, we were with one of the students, or several of the students, and I was talking to one of the students. And this young student, I now have his name imprinted in my brain. I will be back to this campus on checking on him because he's a freshman right now, and I talked about his future aspirations. And I wasn't totally satisfied with his answer to me. So his name is here. I will be back to the school checking on him and to all the schools who are here and the schools throughout the city, because we believe in great schools for our students, and every student in every community should have a high-quality school, and that's what this announcement is about. So thank you very much, Mr. Mayor.
Dennis, was he the young man who wanted to be a pediatrician?
No, he wanted to be the chancellor, and I had to talk him out of it.
Sorry about that. Well, if there weren't pediatricians, there wouldn't be a need for a chancellor.
I know.
Thank you. Anyways, as to Fred Wilson, I want to say this. Thank you for your generous support of this new Academy for Software Engineering and for assembling a board of advisors for the school from the tech sector. We're looking forward to a continued strong partnership between the school and tech companies, and I'd like to, if you could, say a few words about what got you going here and what you're trying to do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I've been working in the, my name's Fred Wilson. I'm a venture capitalist. I invest in high-tech companies in New York. I've been working in the high technology sector here in New York for 25 years, and there's never been a more exciting time than where we are right now. New York City and the New York suburban area is now the second most active hub for technology startups anywhere in the world, second only to Silicon Valley. And that's what's going on here in New York right now. And I think it's a lot of credit needs to go to the mayor and his team for supporting this continuously and across many, many initiatives. And it's a big reason why this has happened. But the biggest problem we have is we don't have enough talent to fill these companies. Half of all software engineering jobs around the country are unfilled. Half of all software engineering jobs around the country are unfilled. All the companies that we've invested in New York have unfilled open software engineering jobs. There is an insatiable appetite for talent among software engineering in the city and in our country. And so we need to do something about that. And thanks to the Department of Education and the Chancellor and the team at the Department of Education, we're doing something about that. In September, we're opening this school, the Academy for Software Engineering. We're going to admit 108 students. And 4 years from now, that's 108 software engineers that are going to graduate from this school. But not only that, this school can be a beacon, not only for other principals and educational leaders here in the city, but for around the country. If we can do it here, we can do it other places in the city, and we can do it other places in the country. And hopefully this is the beginning of a movement to include software engineering as a discipline in our high schools and teach our students something that will be increasingly important in the years to come. I want to thank, in addition to the team of the Department of Education, I want to thank Singh Yu, who's going to be the leader for this school, and the team that he's assembled. They did an amazing job of recruiting students to the school. We got 800 applications for 108 slots. This thing came together in less than 6 months. It's amazing to me how quickly the Department of Education and the educational leaders moved to make this happen. And so I just am extremely grateful for that. One final person I want to thank, Mike Szymanski, who teaches computer science at Stuyvesant High School. He's been doing that for 15 years. He's taught some of the best software engineers in the companies that we work with, at Google, at Facebook, at lots of big companies. And he inspired me and lots of other people that we could do more and we could do better. And we are going to do more and we are going to do better. So thanks to Mike and thanks for everybody who was involved in this. I'm super excited about it, as you probably can tell. And do I turn this back over? Yeah, okay.
Well, either one of us do. Fred talked about the principals who Singh Yu, and he's going to tell us about his vision for what he's creating here.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Singh Yu, the proposed school leader for the Academy for Software Engineering, a new career and technical education high school opening this September and offering computer science and software engineering focused curriculum. It's estimated that by 2016, there will be more than 1.5 million computing-related jobs available. And the Department of Labor predicts that computer science-related jobs will be among the fastest growing and highest paying over the next decade. Those are statistics enough alone to tell you why a school such as the Academy for Software Engineering is needed. But if any of you use software this weekend to complete your taxes, because they are due today, or use the mobile app to secure directions to come to Washington Irving, then you know firsthand the importance of software. Additionally, that should be an indication of why it's so important that we make sure we prepare our young people, particularly our students, to become the creators of the next generation of software and applications that we're going to demand and rely on. Now, that's why at the Academy for Software Engineering, we are committed to preparing every one of our students to become tomorrow's inquisitive problem solvers, collaborative leaders, innovative entrepreneurs, and productive citizens. By combining rigorous academic coursework along with hands-on experience in the computer science and software engineering industry, our students will earn the credentials necessary to have competitive prospects for both college and careers. Now, in order for them to develop these credentials, we're going to emphasize a problem-based learning approach in which students are constantly processing and using new information, adapting to changing environments, and working collegially with others so that they can handle and resolve these grappling problems or these complex problems that they're going to face in their daily lives. These are experiences that they're going to have to resolve and come up with solutions. In addition to these learning experiences inside the classroom, we're going to have job shadowing and internships with members of our impressive advisory board, many of who are here today. Now, these types of learning experiences are going to be critical because not only are they going to learn what it's going to take and the skills and the knowledge it's going to take to be able to handle this type of work, they're going to understand how to secure these positions. Now, in order for them to have these learning experiences inside and outside the classroom, they're going to have to develop academic, emotional, and social skills so they can take ownership of their lives, and so making sure that they become self-sufficient participants in society. So that's why it's going to be important that we ensure that students are going to have these types of skills so that when they leave our school, the Academy for Software Engineering, not only will they have a diploma in their hands, they're also going to have a personalized pathway to both college and careers. In addition, they're going to develop a voice to be heard, the visibility to be seen, and the value to feel relevant. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Another of the new schools opening in September is the KIPP Washington Heights Middle School. KIPP, as I'm sure all of you know, is one of the most successful charter school operators in the city, and I'd like to ask the principal of this new school, Danny Swirsky, to give us his comments now. Danny?
Good afternoon. I'm Danny Swirsky, principal of KIPP Washington Heights Middle School, opening this summer in Washington Heights on the Mirabel Sisters campus. And I'm incredibly excited to be here, incredibly grateful to Mayor Bloomberg, Chancellor Walcott, for their support in opening our school and for inviting us here today. Also want to thank Washington Irving for hosting today's event. The mission of KIPP Washington Heights Middle School, much like all KIPP schools, is to make sure that our students are prepared with the character and academic skills necessary to be successful in college and in life. We're incredibly excited to serve the kids and families in District 6. KIPP is open to every kid in Washington Heights, including English language learners and students with special education needs. This summer, we'll open our doors to approximately 90 fifth graders starting their climb on the mountain to and through college. Over the next 4 years, KIPP Washington Heights will grow to serve approximately 360 students in grades 5 through 8, all of whom will be prepared to succeed at KIPP NYC College Prep High School. Over the past 17 years, KIPP has more than doubled the college matriculation rate for students in low-income communities and quadrupled the college graduation rate. And the key to our amazing success is the dedicated, passionate teachers that we have in our schools that make promises to kids and families each and every day that they will do whatever it takes to be successful. In Washington Heights, we've already been fortunate to start building relationships with some incredible folks on the ground, countless community organizations, and individual community members. Partnering with these folks will help make sure that our students are well-rounded and have an education that will help them to and through college. We are enthusiastic to work closely with them and our partners at MS 319, 324, and PS 138M. With the love of teaching that we have, opening KIPP in Washington Heights, we are incredibly excited to serve students in elementary school, middle school, high school, and our KIPP through college program, and in life beyond. Thank you.
Danny, thank you. Our final speaker has been with us at quite a few press events in the past, but usually to manage them and not to speak at them. Jen Falk was tops as our first deputy press secretary and is now doing a great job as executive director of the Union Square Alliance. Jen?
So as many of you know, Union Square is home to the city's first and largest green market, a beautiful historic park, hundreds of the best restaurants and retailers, and a thriving residential and commercial base. But also in recent years, the Union Square Partnership has made a series of significant investments in the area, including the $20 million renovation of the north end of Union Square Park and the installation of the new public plazas along Broadway and 17th Street. These investments that we've made in the area are a collaboration with our city partners, and they've certainly paid off. They've attracted a thriving 24/7 community and their ever-growing number of tech companies and venture capital firms that have chosen to make Union Square their home. And that's why today's announcement about bringing a tech-oriented high school to the Union Square community is such great news to us. It further reinforces Union Square as the center of the city's digital district. In 2011 and early 2012, we estimate that about 13 tech-related firms signed new leases in the area, accounting for about 170,000 square feet, 750 jobs. These are a lot of employers who can hopefully provide tech-oriented internships and summer jobs to the students that will be at this new high school, the Academy for Software and Engineering. So we thank the mayor, we thank Chancellor Walcott, we also thank our partner and key neighborhood booster, Fred Wilson of Union Square Ventures, for choosing to launch the Academy in Union Square. It means a lot to us in Union Square, and it's a real thumbs up for the great work that the partnership's been doing, and we look forward to partnering with you on investments in the future.
Jen, thank you. Before taking questions, let me just summarize today's announcement for our Spanish-speaking New Yorkers. Vamos a abrir 54 nuevas escuelas pequeñas el principio del año escolar que viene. Los estudiantes es las casi 600 escuelas pequeñas que hemos creado se gradúan más seguido que estudiantes de las escuelas que han reemplazado y también tienen mejores calificaciones en exámenes de matemáticas y lectura. And with that, we'll be happy to take some questions if anybody has any. Yes, Miss.